All right, 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 all right. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, my fellow listeners. This is your host, SBOR Freeman, coming live from the Maima Goyah studio. Once again, we want to welcome you to the broadcast. We say thanks for your continued support. Today, we want to remind you of, I think, the political march has just started. And so before we even give you the line up for today's discussion, we first want to say, as usual, we want to say happy birthdays to all those who are celebrating their birthday today. We pray that God will bless you with long life, good health, peace of mind, and all of your heart desires. If your birthday falls on your anniversary, we also say double shout out to you and your special loved one. We pray that God will bless the whole matrimony homes with peace, love, understanding, and peace. If you are bereaved, we also want to take this time to extend our deeper condolences to you and your family for the loss. We pray that God Almighty will comfort you, console you, strengthen you as you go through the difficult time of bereavement. And so we also want to tell you that today we're going to be looking at what is unfolding right now in the United States of America. If you haven't heard, then of course, let me be the first to inform you that officially President Joe Biden made it clear this morning that he's not going to contest for the second term. He didn't just say that, but he also took it one step further by endorsing his vice president, Kamala Harris. And so right now, we just ended the Republican convention. Momentum was very high. And then today's announcement, we can also say not only is it shocking or surprising, but I think it also energized the Democratic Party. And by evidence, we can see already within 24 hours, Kamala Harris has raised over $81 million. So many people have come out to endorse her. 81 million bucks, $81 million from the leadership of the Democratic Party, including former President Bill and Hillary Clinton, and the list go on. But one shocking thing is that everybody's still watching is the fact that the other former president, Barack Obama, have not yet endorsed or say anything. So, with that being said, everybody right now, both parties, both left and right, everybody's scrambling, everybody making a case. But like we said on the show, when we come here, we do not pretend to promote one political party or one political agenda. And the reason why that I have to start discussing American politics because, like I said, I got other people that listen to me too. And a lot of times, just say the show is heavily geared towards Liberia. And of course, I live in the United States of America. And so, of course, anything that is unfolding here is first and foremost important to me. And I was here last week and make it very clear. We do not take this blessing that God has blessed us with lightly. We are very grateful for this nation. And so we pay attention, but the system that is set up in this country is so solid that sometimes I believe I don't have to worry because by God's grace, everything, the system, anybody can work it. Unlike where I'm from, Liberia, that everything is just, and so we're fighting to cause some noise in our nation that at least we can have some kind of system. And I'll give an example. Just imagine the sitting president, pressure from within his own political party. People that work with him for over 50, 60 years. But they recognize the fact that he can go another 4 years. That is the difference between America and Liberia. In fact, there is no comparison there. I'm only saying this because some of my listeners feel like, yeah, I have to be very diverse when it comes to my show. But I just want to give them I want to give them some sense of understanding what I do, because you will never, I don't think that will ever happen in Liberia where I'm from. But people within recognize the fact that even though we've been friendly for 30, 40, 20 years, but what matters is the United States of America, the greatest country on planet Earth. And so the sincerity, the honesty, to just look in the eyes of the president, somebody that, of course, everybody want to be friendly with the president. Of course, everybody want to rub shoulders with the president. Of course, the president of America is the most powerful man in the world. But you know why? America comes first. No other person. And so that pressure. Say, Mr. President, we know you can end the next 3 months or 5 months, whatever the case may be, but we don't think that you can make it for the next 4 years if you win the election, because physically and mentally, we need somebody that is prepared for the task. You have been around politics for over 60 some more years. And what happened? The president listened and he stepped aside. So here's the thing now. The political pundits have already started discussing. If you saw my page this morning, I said game on. Because we already know the former President Donald Trump. We don't know yet. We do not know yet. But from what we can see, from all indication, for all reports reaching our desks, monitoring all the various news or light, it seems to be that indeed Kamala Harris is going to be the standard bearer for the Democratic Party come November. And the evidence is pretty clear that within, from this morning or from yesterday morning till now, she has raised $81 million. As we speak, she's currently in Delaware meeting with campaign staff. So we haven't heard anything. Late last night, there was some breaking news on CNN that Senator Joe Manchin from Virginia, who left the Democratic Party and registered as an independent, was thinking about going back to join the Democratic Party and then maybe to contest the Senate bearership. But as far as we are concerned, nothing of that have happened. So the question remains, what do you think about this? Is America ready for a female president? Or female, not just female president, but another black president? The link in there, we'll drop it there, because to this topic, we want to hear from you. You can either post your comment, or you can request to come on live. And so the question here right now is America ready for a female president? We already see the Republican has shifted gear. And one thing I want to say about this story here is the fact that if you look at it to some extent, I say it's a very good what I call strategic move, because clearly, clearly, the Republican Party had the momentum because they just came after the convention. And so to see that in no time Joe Biden coming up with that type of announcement, I think it shift what we call the political landscape. Well, what do I mean by that is the fact that now the Democrat Party was almost like a falling apart. People were upset. And now a shift now. It's no more about Joe Biden again, about age. Strategy got to be different now. People got to talk about how they're going to make our life better, make the world better. We got to start looking at the difference between the two candidates. And there is something in the room, in the air right now, have taken the conversation to another level. But you see, what I want to talk about is the fact that this is what makes this country great. The country never disappoint. There might be disagreement. Yes, people will go after each other. But America always wins. And we see that from President Joe Biden. It was just easy for him to refuse and hold on to power and see if he could win the election or if he win it, fine. But he believed within himself that he know you'll be doing the service to his country. Because even if God bless him and he win, if God bless him and he win the next election, he know within himself the tax at hand. He can't handle it. And so while he recognized it, and he said it is about time that we pass the baton over to somebody who can do the job. This is something we can learn. And so I believe this election everybody got their own feelings. Everybody believe the left believe that their candidate can win. The right believe that our candidate can win. Everybody in high gear. But I would say this with all honesty. I just feel like at this junction, it's a good thing, but I don't know if the outcome that people want. I really don't know. I might be wrong, but the big question or the big elephant in this room is America prepared for a female president? Let's just forget about color. I don't even want to talk about race. Now, I might be wrong. We've been looking at the polls from different institutions, people that are responsible to a state fuel or the former president Donald Trump. But you can see that Kamala Harris is making some significant gain, especially as it relates to money. Within 24 hours, $81 million, almost close to $100 million now. And so Who knows? Who knows? So don't just let us talk about ourselves on the show. We want you to come in, give us your input, tell us what you think. If you believe that Kamala Harris can win this thing, tell us why. Give us your reason why you believe that she can win it. If you feel like she does not stand a chance, then we also want to hear from you too why. And so, because we got our own thought, we have our own belief, and that is what I'm saying. I believe, I don't know if this nation is prepared. Maybe it will be close. I don't know. And so, now we already start hearing that the Republican people will add already that are going to be airing in most of what we call battleground state. That how can Harris separate herself from Joe Biden? Excuse me. They're already saying that she lied. She played a double standard game because she in the IUCA, she said that the president was okay, he was 100%, he was sharp in closed door meeting. I'm just saying that these are things that the Republicans have already paid for that is running right now as we speak. I'm not the one that's saying it. But the challenge here is it's going to be tough. Now, one thing I would say to immigrants that are in this country, you have to get involved with the political process. You have to get involved with the political process, especially if you are elected or if you are a citizen. If you qualify to vote, take advantage and vote. Participate in the political process. Don't just sit down and expect people to do it for you. Get involved. Whatever side you find yourself, whether it be Republican or Democrat, you have to get involved with the political process. Because remember, this nation is so good to each and every one of us. And so, right now, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. And so, we're waiting to see. So, let us know. Let us know what you think. Thank you, Samson H. Williams. You said, I just put a link in there. So if you can click on it, I will be willing to bring you in something so you can tell me what you think. The link is right in there. Thank you, Claire Howard. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you what you think. Because I'm telling you, game on now. Game on. The game is on. Yes, yeah, you say you're standing by with an analysis. We'd love to have you on, Dr. Something. Because can Kamala Harris win this thing? I really don't know. I really don't know. Instead of giving, because I said it on here last week, the Democratic Party, sometimes I don't understand them. You find someone smarter put in the war a part of the party. And for them to reach this level before they can even think and say that, oh, the woman, oh, so if the woman are going to do, the question I keep asking myself, okay, let me post a link. If you see, you can't see the link, I'll post the link again. So if the women are not going to formal doing a debate, then we're going to happy. We're going to happy. I just put it as something. If you go to my page, you will see. I really don't know what's going to happen, because all of the things came falling apart just from the presidential debate. And that was my whole frustration with the process. But be as it may, now we have passed that chapter. We find ourselves now. Again, we don't know again. But from all indication, it appeared to be that Kamala Harris is going to be the Senate bearer. Now, we want to start hearing how she, because one of the things, quite frankly, I would say, again, I'm not, everything I say on the show, I'm just saying, I'm just giving information, because this show is about informing our audience. This is where we come to dialogue. But it said she was given full responsibility over the border to deal with the immigration crisis at the border. These are things that running the Republican Party are talking. So do you really believe that she got a shot? Do you really believe that she can beat Trump? And if so, how? How and why you think that she can beat the former president? I don't want you telling me about what you saw on ABC or CNN or Fox. Give me your own gut feelings. Tell me. Yeah. You know, I gotta find a way to get the link to this guy. Something, I don't know. Something, can you let me know if you have seen the link? Ah. I know how to. Hold on, brother. I think I need to send you directly then. But we can see it. Okay, what something? I sent it in the inbox. Okay, let's see. Because the person ain't get it yet. I wish I can carry him quick. For something. Message. There you go. I want to hear from you, brother. Yeah. And I mean, if other people want to come in, I will appreciate that. But this is something I have to discuss. And then from there, we'll be looking at what can we learn from this whole ordeal. What can Liberia take from there? Because Liberia remain my number one agenda. We want to know where, because all I see, what my first thing first from the whole thing is the love for country. The love for country, that's number one. Number two, the fact that people speak truth to power. They spoke truth to power. Even though they've been knowing each other for 50, 60, 70 years, they were able to look in the eyes and tell the president their good friendship. Tell him, say, my man, we look at you, we can't make the team. You need to rest now. You served for almost 40, 30 some more years as senators. You served 8 years as vice president. I think you have done well. You have served this country well. But we're not telling you to leave because we hate you. No, we love you. When will we get to that place to be honest with each other in Liberia? That will put institutions for like our country and tell people the truth. If you're not performing, there you go. All right. Samson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Freeman.
Hello?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, thanks for coming on the show, Samson. Good to have you. Yeah. Okay, good to have you on the show. So we discussing today, we're talking about the move by the Democratic Party, and we wanted to hear from people, and I really appreciate the fact that you took upon your time, your busy schedule to come on the show. I wanted to know what you think this move yesterday by morning hours, the president wrote a letter saying clearly that he's not going to contest, followed up by endorsing his VP. Do you think do you think the VP can win this election? You think the Democrats stand a chance?
Well, Mr. Freeman, thanks for having me on the show. I like the post, and I think our community
We're
need
not
to
hearing
follow
you,
such
something.
style.
Okay.
You not hearing me? Can you
Okay.
hear me
All right.
now?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Okay, good. So I was saying thank you for having me on the show. I think this is a great initiative. I
Yeah, I can
follow
hear you
you
now.
ever since you started the process, and so I like to say
Uh-huh.
thanks for doing what you do, and I hope this is the trend that our community will take going forward, especially on these kind of national issues when it has to do with the United States of America. Uh, and I like what you said. I see people run down with the Liberian politics, and we talk about everything that concerns Liberia. But we live here. We have accepted this place as home, and we should be involved. In my mind, in my political mind, I think that's what is called membership, and if you read something called citizenship in a global context, that's what our obligation should be to get involved with these kinds of conversation. Uh, Having said that, this morning when I woke up from bed, this news hit me when I first checked the news around 4 a.m. I'm like, what is this? What am I hearing? I've been a volunteer for years with the Democratic Party, and I'll tell you that It was shocking, but being honest, I would say I wasn't, or I am not surprised that President Biden took such a decision. Uh, Behind the scene, I have contributed, by the grace of God, I've contributed my opinion to some Democrats, Democratic stalwarts that I work with about the issue of President Biden stepping out of the race, especially after I wrote my analysis with the Minnesota crisis guru on the debate, the last debate. So again, when I read the news this morning, I thought to do another analysis, and I like to share that analysis here.
Okay.
Uh, and if I'm permitted, I like to share the analysis. So when I did my analysis, the first thing I came up with, this is a great move for the Democratic
Yes,
Party.
you have the floor,
This
brother.
is a
Go ahead. Mhm.
this is a great move for the Democratic Party. This is a big step forward. You spoke about it. Evidently, we see that under 24 hours, the Democratic Party campaign have raised the DNC have raised about 81,000. Now, I just followed the news just to get an update. And after the endorsement from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, we are talking about hitting almost $100 million within 24 hours. So your information is very accurate. I like to point that out to the audience. Your information is very accurate. We are moving above, the Democratic Party is moving above or beyond $81,000, which came up around 2 p.m. today. And they're hitting about $100 million already. We're almost close to it after the endorsement of Nancy Pelosi. So this is what I said in my analysis. And after this, I will be sharing the document with you. But the document will be published with the Minnesota Crisis Guru on the website, and there will be a newsletter on this issue. I'll be proud to
Thank
share
you.
that with you
Thank
as
you.
well. So President Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election marks a significant moment in American politics. This is something we have not seen in the American politics for one of the oldest candidates, to come up and say, "Well, I'm not going to be contesting the election."
Never.
We have not seen that in American politics. Uh, and not only the fact that he currently has some health deficiency as we speak, but he has understood that the thing called legacy matter very much in politics. And so I think that's a great move that he will, make such a decision or take such a decision just to be able to keep his legacy. So I defined three reasons why I think Joe Biden made the decision. Number one reason is age and health concern. Now, the reason I say that is because President Biden, Mr. Freeman, is 81 years old already. And like you said, if President Biden will insist on being in this race and even win the next election, President Biden will be 84 to 85 years old by the time he's done. Considering his health condition right now, can he even manage the country for another 2 years? I do not believe that. All right. So in my analysis, I said he would be the oldest president, or oldest candidate. Let's forget about the presidency, but he's going to be the oldest candidate ever, 81 years old contesting. Okay. So the issue around his age, we all saw his performance during the last debate. And let me point this out. Okay. Mr. Freeman, we studied politics. And when I studied politics, I emphasized in party politics. And so when I watched the campaign that night, I was almost like the unseen driver in the front seat who, when the driver is ready to make a mistake, you kind of step in the artificial or invisible brakes and whatsoever. My heart was pounding like, this is the moment. Lift the guy. The guy is only insulting you. The guy is being Trump. What can you do right now? And I didn't see those things.
So, but let me
All
let
right.
me before you even gave me before you even gave before you even before you even hold the thought before you even, but what did you make of the fact that, and this is what frustrated me, because these are people that see this man behind closed door, they see him,
Mhm.
honestly speaking. And so what I want, maybe I don't know, give me some reason why what the decision that went into that to allow the woman to come on the stage, because prior to that, George Clooney did a fundraiser, and
Right.
exactly what Fox News were reporting, people said the people were trying to pick a movement, but the woman froze on the stage. So I was surprised going into that debate that it actually. So what are you thinking about that strategy by the Democratic Party that put us in this position that we're in today? What are you thinking about that?
Well, here is the thing. I don't think the party started. I don't think the campaign knew that President Biden would perform. Let me make this clear. President Biden spoke to the issue the entire time. He spoke to the issue. All right. but the performance, the body language, the tone of voice, all of those things, they matter in debates. All right.
Mhm.
So I don't think there's something that the Democratic convention or campaign sought ahead of time and insisted that Biden should move forward. The expectation was he got everything, all of his eyes were dots, all of his T's were crossed. And so going on that stage, they were very confident.
Mhm.
My problem with them was uh, maybe there should have been enough prep to study or assess his body language, his tone of voice, and all of these things before accepting. And then there was a there was a misstep, and that misstep would be failure to consult his medical doctors or the medical doctors of the White House to know whether at the moment the president was prepared for that. I don't think he was very prepared. He was answering to the things he had done. He answered to policy as he understand them. He answered the international issue as he had gotten engaged. But I don't think he was fully prepared for that. So if you call it a move to set him up to bring him to the place, maybe because you thought he was stubborn, okay, let's send him there, let him see, so that he would see himself fail and then come back and say, I would step out. I don't think it was a fair strategy. So it was a setup for failure. Where I consider that failure on the issue of policy, on just discussing the issue, I don't think it was a failure. But performance as an individual in a debate, I thought it was a failure. So I'm glad we are where we are.
Okay. All right. So if you can all land the point, and then we will really appreciate that. Now, your
Great. Great. So I was giving my three reasons why I believe President Biden took the decision. Like I said, number one is because of age and health. Number two, it is a political strategy. Stepping aside may be a strategic move to unify the Democratic Party. If you know the Democratic Party, my brother, the party is very divided. You just pointed out something. The party got great minds. They got very good people that are part of the party, and the party have set a very great record in the politics and governance of the United States of America. However, the party can be very divided when they are discussing or practicing party politics. Now we have to understand here there are two things. There is party politics and there is national politics. The Democratic Party is very good at dealing with national politics, but politics, the Democratic Party make a lot of mistakes. So this was a strategy to reunite, all right, the Democratic Party and allow a younger and potential, more energetic candidate to take on the mantle. I think that's what has happened. The party needed, now you got two old folks that are in the race. You need energetic folks. Let's go back to Donald Trump. You see his pick for running mate. He picked a 39 years old young man who has been, who is a young lawyer, a young junior senator, with less
yeah,
experience in
it is
governance.
it is
Okay,
yeah.
he did that. So now the edge, the benefit to the Democratic Party with the endorsement from President Biden of Kamala Harris is that she is experienced. She is even a more experienced lawyer, okay, than Donald Trump entire team. She comes with a lot of wealth of experience in politics and outside of politics. All right. She understands the issue of policy. Before a person can win election to become a president of a nation, if you are novice to the policies that govern that nation, you are not the person for the seat or the office. And so Kamala Harris brings all of that. People are moving around saying, well, Kamala Harris, America is not ready to elect a female president. Give me a break. Now, it's not about race. It's not about, I think we have crossed the breach of race ascending to the higher office. Barack Obama broke that. All right. I think we have also crossed the issue of gender. Hillary Clinton was allowed to contest in the race, or Sarah Palin was allowed to get into the race. So we saw female getting to the place of debating for the opportunity for that office. So it is not impossible for her to be elected. Here is the other thing. We just talked about it. We go back to a female being endorsed by the sitting president and raised $81 million under 24 hours. So that sent a message of the possibility of Kamala Harris winning election, provided we erase the issue of or the discussion around race and gender, because we in this country should be focused on the issue of equity, balancing equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right, that's what we should focus on. So my third point is President Biden. My third reason for which I think he made a decision is the issue of legacy. Now, this is something that all of us need to cultivate. You cannot run to the point where you cannot breathe. Okay,
Yeah.
you cannot run to the point where you cannot breathe. And at this point, I believe President Biden wants to leave that legacy. And I think it's a very fine legacy for himself. All right. It brings a lot of respect to him. It brings a lot of respect to the Democratic Party. It sent out a different message to the voters that you have a Democratic Party that is ready to decentralize and to listen to what the people have to say. It was the people's calling. He was being stubborn from the beginning, but he assessed it. So the fact that he listened and he's going to sit back and play, I just heard him speak. He said, I am going to support Kamala Harris to the fullest. I'm involved with this campaign and we are going to make sure. So that's a great legacy for him. So I believe, again, the three reasons he made the decision was number one, age and healthcare concern. Number two, it was a political strategy. And number three, he is considering his legacy. All right. On top of that, Mr. Freeman, I also came down in my analysis to something I call the pros and the cons, the advantages and disadvantages of having Kamala Harris. Because if you start following the entire debate going forward or pronostications going forward, these are things that people are going to be discussing. What are the pros? What are the cons? Is America ready to elect a female president? What are her track records? What can she bring to the table? She was a dormant vice president. We didn't see much. She's in the Oval Office. So what I did, I first discussed the three pros that I found, or four pros that I found, maybe five. So first thing here is she is a historic candidate. She is a historic candidate. If you understand the politics of America, my dear brother, Americans and the voters in this country, they vote on ideology and policy. Whether you are Republican or Democrat, the voters focus on ideology and policy. For example, the Democrats will come up and tell you, we are for abortion, we are for immigration, okay, we are for healthcare, we are for free education, and stuff like that. There are people waiting to hear these things. Kamala Harris come with that. She is a person who have gotten involved. She has a track record of advocating for those things. So that makes her a historic candidate. It has not happened in the history of American politics where a female vice president, well, she's the first female vice president, all right, not to talk of being endorsed by a sitting president who should be, overprotective of his space in the party, just giving that all. So that is historic. Number two, she comes with a lot of experience. She is a renowned prosecutor from the state of California, the great state of California, all right? She has prosecuted a lot of cases that tied down to, rebuking the repetition of Trump as far as corruption. So she is not a person who is going to be afraid of Trump. She's going to nip it in. So based on her experience as an Attorney General of California, former Attorney General, based on her experience as the Senate President who have advocated a lot of bills, all right? If you look at the records right now, there are a lot of bills, tangible ones that have been advocated for and endorsed by this vice president who is the Senate President, all right? And not only that, she has served the three branches of government already, right? She served the judiciary. She started with. She came into the legislature. Now she's in the executive. She comes with a lot of experience. That's one thing that's going to give her the nomination. The third one is policy knowledge. Like I said before, she is very knowledgeable when it comes to policies. Is Donald Trump knowledgeable when it comes to politics? Policies. Donald Trump speak what he wants to speak. I listened to his vice senator or running mate saying Donald Trump speak his mind. Politics is not about your mind. It's about the policy. Are you speaking to the policy? Are you speaking to the issue? Are you speaking to analyzing and dealing with ideology? All right. These are reasons and things or basis on which people vote. And she comes to all of these things. She is very knowledgeable when it comes to policy. Policy. She is also she appeals to the Democratic base because you know what? She has been consistently with the political party or political institution. She has never switched her mind. She remained a progressive in the party. All right? She remained a progressive in the party. And I can tell you for sure, if you have this kind of person against Donald Trump do not have too much to say. And he can't cuss her up. Let me put it that way. He cannot cuss her up because you know what? She is so mature and intelligent, very educated, well experienced to the point where she's going to stay focused. So that's a big move for the Democrats as well. Lastly, on the issue of pros, she is a stronger debater than Donald Trump. This is the platform on which Joe Biden made his decision to pull back on debate. If Donald Trump and Joe Biden had not gone into that debate, maybe this decision would not have been made. So debate expose you as a candidate. It tells the people or the voters that you are ready for this thing and you're capable of doing it. So Donald Trump cannot debate Kamala Harris. I bet my life on it. Donald Trump cannot debate Kamala Harris. So if the Democrats are hearing me, I think it's about time for them to. And I like the fact that
Okay, but
all of them are
let
coming
me
on.
Jerry, let me just remind you about something. All of those things that you outlined about Kamala Harris is truth. She has served in all three capacity. But don't forget the woman that Donald Trump beat. Hillary Clinton even come with a greater experience. She was as well, first lady, senator, or secretary of state. She been among, I mean, when you talk about the American politics, internationally and locally, and yet instead she was defeated by Donald Trump. So if you put the two people, looking at Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, I understand all those contributions. I mean, all those attributes that you talk about, those are fact. I'm just looking clearly from the voter standpoint. If this nation is prepared for that, because at the time when Hillary was running against Trump, she has all those things you talk about. But
Mhm.
then, but then Donald Trump not even put his foot into. You are just testing the water, and now he served as president for 4 years. So you can see that he has experience now under his belt, and what he did during his tenure as president, the track record are there. So all I'm saying, I don't know. That's why I say I don't know if this thing it makes sense
Mr.
to
Fremont,
me, but I just
right.
being very honest with you. You can't rule race out of this, and you can't rule gender out of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree with you because there are people who are not very knowledgeable to, the true essence of candidacy when it comes to politics. People are considering gender, people are considering race. And the history of America has proven that those things are not factor determining factor anymore. Okay. They are not determining factor anymore. When we are talking race, like I said, Barack Obama broke that. So that ceiling has been broken. Number two, if we are talking gender, you just mentioned Hillary Clinton. All right. Her husband said she could have been, complacent with what she had done and what her husband has done in this country and go and say it. But let's go back to track record. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton was a whole different story. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton have things that temper with her integrity. And I'm being honest here. All right.
Mhm.
We go back to
Mhm.
the American ambassador died in Syria. All right. We go back to the relationship built and withdrawn in Iran, Iraq. Okay. Everything
No,
she
in
did on
Libya,
international things
in
in
Libya.
Libya.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to Libya. Okay.
Mhm.
Everything has been tied to Hillary. So we are talking integrity. Can we compare?
Yeah.
Now, we are not saying those things labeled against Hillary Clinton were all true, but then again, they were labeled on her integrity. So, and one of the key characteristics of a leader for the presidency is integrity. So, the fact that Hillary Clinton had those things on her records as far as a candidate, being a candidate for the Democratic Party, Donald Trump had something to argue, you know, against. So we all saw that. The American people knew that. They felt like, and Donald Trump had too many dead supporters. He said, I will spit them out. We talked about the emails and everything.
But
So these are
don't
things.
forget to. I will still remind you. I
Mhm.
will still, I will still remind you. Even though, even though Hillary had a lot of stuff on her record, but Trump too has stuff, and yet instead between those two, the people still feel like, hey, we rather entrust President Trump. So I'm just saying the gender thing. That's my. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I hope because clearly you can see momentum. Momentum is the only thing. I think the
Right.
only thing that's slowing it down a little bit, at least before the day end, we're hoping that Barack can come out and endorse the woman fully, so it can just erase all the doubt. So momentum is there.
Okay.
Don't forget.
Right.
But
But I
now
don't know.
it
I don't
comes
know
down
if you
to
just follow the
strategy
recent
now.
news. I don't know if you just follow the recent news. Uh, Barack Obama not endorsing was coming from the office of Senator Jeffrey Kirby Booker and everybody are saying that Barack Obama is in consultation with all of them, and is a personal reason for which he had not come out to endorse, but he is excited. And they are telling us that very soon you will be hearing from Barack Obama. Okay, so we don't want to push that too far. Barack Obama is a key factor in this entire thing, but I can tell you that Barack
Okay.
Obama is not going to dodge that endorsement. He's going to endorse her. I can promise you that. I'm almost certain that he's going to endorse her within 48 hours. All right. So just going back to that, these here are things or reasons why people might be skeptical of her candidacy. Number one, that makes approval rating. All right. People think that she lacked the achievement evidently as the Senate president. She does not have the rapport that she's supposed to have with the Senate. I do not believe that. People will argue that. Let's follow the entire trend of the campaign. Let's follow prognostications. Let's look at the polls. These things will come up. Republican opposition. Okay, Harris is likely to face strong opposition from the Republican Party because she has not been a strong or bipartisan force. Okay, with the Senate. So people might want to use that against her. Are these things that she has the opportunity to work on now? She just mentioned it when she spoke today. She said, with bipartisan agreement, when I become president, I'm quoting her, that I will sign these things into law. So
All
she
right.
is ready to make amends. Everybody has their weaknesses. All right. Experience criticism. They might say she has not been a president. She been in the Oval Office, but she has not done too much in the Oval Office. She has not been out there advocating. We don't know that yet. We don't know what force she brings to the president or to the president's decisions that he have made and some of those things that the president have accomplished. We don't know the level of contribution, so we can't question that. Maybe at this point, evidently, she will be able to pull them out. Public perception. Now, public perception is what you're talking about. Race, gender. She is a South Asian African American woman. So people might want to tie race to these things. But my point here is, are these things significant factor now
Yeah.
in the American politics? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Are these things significantly factored now in the American politics? I do not believe so. Now, going back to history, she has just made history. In the history of the Democratic Party, I just heard from one
Why? You
Democratic
sure? You
stalwart.
sure you don't believe that? You
I
sure?
don't believe that it's going to factor. I mean, people are going to bring it up. That's how I label it as a call. But people are going to bring it up. But it's not going to be a deciding factor. I don't believe it's going to be a deciding factor. What I think should be happening now is the entire Democratic Party coming up to put their full weight behind her. Because history just spoke itself. No candidate has raised 100 million within 48 hours. Donald Trump, after the debate that night, raised 52 or 58 million dollars. Here, I mean, Kamala Harris just raised
I agree.
$82 million or $81 million under 24 hours.
I
So
agree.
that tells you that she is a good choice. The party is too divided. The party need to come together on this. I think Joe Biden made a right call. If I would conclude here, I would say the decision not to seek re-election paved the way for potentially transformative
And
2024 Democratic primary.
all of the and what was so exciting about this? All of that 81 million up to 100 million, 49.6. Yeah, 49.6 million were raised by grassroots. That means
Yeah.
little people from down
Yep.
who,
Young
for
people,
some
common people.
reason, they were
Mhm.
discouraged about buying, but just from the grassroots alone, she was able to collect 49 points. Yeah, common people who
That sends the
give
message.
maybe 25,
That
50,
sends the
30.
message.
Yeah.
You see,
So we
that just
can
supports my
see.
argument. That sends the message, right? Now you have people who got abstained from voting come 2024 November. There are people who are saying, well, I can't go to vote. Because the truth is, my brother, let's think about this. If a man with a felony is not allowed to vote, how can a man convicted of 4 felony charges be allowed to contest the presidency of the greatest country in the world? That is a contradiction for me. It troubled me. So where is the American democracy headed? The American democracy is supposed to be the bedrock of democracy in the world. But you are bringing a man convicted of 34 felony counts for the presidency. So I think on both sides, now, hear this. That secret having that not all of the Republican stalwarts are very comfortable with sending Trump to the ballot or making Trump the top of the ticket. They are not comfortable. But then, I mean, lesser evil. So the Democratic Party now have the chance to make amends with Kamala Harris or weaknesses, especially when it comes to her rapport with the Congress, and then see how best they can support her. I will conclude by saying this. All right. If we want to focus on whether America is ready for a female president, we're not going to get this done. You cannot have a man with 34 felony counts going to run for the presidency, but you and I are going to are going to jail because we got tickets or those kind of things that are misdemeanors. All right. If you are charging people with misdemeanor and penalizing them, and you are allowing a man with 34 felonies to come and contest the presidency, that is an abuse. That is a disgrace to the American democracy. We're supposed to be the bedrock, the example of democracy all over the world. So to conclude, my brother, I would say I think Joe Biden made a right call, and it was timely enough. I like the fact that it's just within 106, 107 days. So it gives the Democratic Party not too much chance to push. I heard Joe Manchin wants to come on. I think Joe Manchin should be coming back to support. He said he's coming back to the party. I applaud him for that, but not to come and contest for the presidency. I don't think it's time. That just defines how the party is going to be divided again. I think it's a time that everybody come on board. We are looking forward. I'm positive that we're going to be getting that endorsement from both Michelle Obama and Barack Obama.
So
They are going to endorse. I'm looking for the Clintons as well.
let me just make a point. Let me just say something. We separate the Republican from the Democrat, and this is not mine. Like I said, this show is what we speak the fact. We do not promote any one political party agenda. But here's the thing:
Right.
the 3-day convention, if you listen to the theme for the Republican, was it was what? United, united, united. And the Democratic Party has always, there's a track record
Mhm.
that there's a division, division, division. Now,
Yep.
Senator Joe Manchin from Virginia left the party and became independent. Don't forget, Joe Manchin was one of the guys that gave Biden very, very tough time when it came to passing the infrastructure bill and
Yep.
other piece of legislation that's supposed to be passed. And now all of a sudden, so what I put all of that together, and you saying within 48 hours, I think when you see all the leadership coming up to endorse this lady, and then the former president, Barack, what personal issue there? That's the thing I look at and say where I don't. When you add that to I call it compound issue already. I look at the
Mhm.
gender, I look at the race, and then I look at the fact that what the party should be united, and still people still got a little bit of doubt, they're dragging our feet. Time fast spent. Time is fast spent.
Mhm.
Like you say, you got
Mr.
less than
Freeman,
106 days to the election, less than 3 months.
right? Don't,
So what you
don't don't
doing?
forget this.
You got to hit the
Don't
ground
forget this.
running. If the leadership still dragging our feet, then I don't know.
Don't forget this. It was the same Barack Obama who came up. Go back to the history. It was the same Barack Obama who came up 2020 during the campaign to commend President Biden for choosing Kamala Harris. He was the first to commend President Biden for choosing Kamala Harris as his running mate. Now, on top of that,
Mm.
you will see, right? You will see that people are focused on Barack Obama, but Barack Obama, when it comes to this kind of thing, it's a cold feet. Maybe we don't want to call it personal. We do not know, so let's not call it personal. Barack Obama is a party stalwart. The party believe in him, and I can tell you for sure, this seems to me like a living legacy for Barack Obama. Not because you're female, but for a black person to come. So if we're going to argue the issue of race, then this is the time for Barack Obama to step up. And I do not see how he is not going to endorse Kamala Harris. I think he is going to endorse Kamala Harris. I don't want to speak too much to it before it look like, well, maybe there's a problem in house and there's that. There's not a problem in house. I do not believe there is a problem in house because news had it. It was in the news that Obama was one of those. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton were some of the people calling on Joe Biden to step aside. So how sure are we that this decision was not in consultation with? I believe it was in consultation with.
Yeah,
So
but
that is a political strategy.
what I reading here, what I read, no, they said no. When you see Barack's statement, it clear
Mhm.
is there. He praised Biden's decision to step out of the race, but
Okay.
stopped short of endorsing Harris. So again, it still created cloud and a doubt if whether Kamala going to win the nomination on web ballot, or maybe there's somebody who they believe And so I'm just pointing out what we can overlook in politics. We have to pay attention to the issues. And part
All
of the
right.
issue that haunt the party is, I believe, and the record is there, is the fact that they
And
always
and, and,
divided over
and
issue
you're
in
correct.
critical time, in critical moment. It's there.
You're correct. You're correct. That is something the Democratic Party struggled with ever since I came to this country. That is something I've noticed the Democratic Party, that the issue of being divided. But here is the thing: Barack Obama not voicing out, he could be doing his own assessment, and there is nothing wrong with it. All right, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I like the fact that you step aside. Endorsing Kamala Harris, I don't want to speak to it yet. Let me call other people within the party and discuss whether we are able to win the presidency using her. There's nothing wrong with that. Barack Obama has a track record of speaking to things that he is able to do. So in our Liberian term, let's call him talk and do. All right. So Barack Obama may be doing his own assessment. Maybe he wants to consult more. Maybe, I mean, he is saying in shock that, wow, this is my legacy that is about to relive itself. Possibilities. All right. We don't want to rule out the fact that he did not speak out immediately. Define itself as, well, there is a problem in house. I don't think there is. He may be just making some phone calls and saying, hey, gentlemen, are we sure about this? Okay. Are we sure
Okay,
about
so
this? Because I'm going to put my integrity on the line.
the second part of the conversation here, I just want to. I really appreciate the fact you came on the show and you always follow me. But the second
Yeah.
part, how can we? Because the reason why you see me diving into American politics and what have you, people who follow me say, what is it that are so heavily concentrated on Liberia? And I try to explain this. Hey, this country, what I call it in every move, it just
Mhm.
sailing smoothly. But where I come from is near and dear to my heart. So you now, what you think? What can we learn from this? Because, like I said from the beginning of the introduction of the show, I took three things from the decision. Number one, people were very upfront with the president, the most powerful
Yeah.
man in the world. They
Yep.
look in his eyes and told him, say, hey, buddy, you served for 30 some years as senator, 8 years as vice president. We know what you can do. We know
Mhm.
what you have contributed towards this country. We know you deeply care. But at this junction, you can't make it. That's number one. Number two, credit to the president himself. He didn't take no advice and stop talking to the people. He took it, he went by, he analyzed, he looked at, he said in the mirror and said, I don't think I got it in me anymore. How can we take this now and translate it to Liberia? Don't forget, we got an older president, if not older than Joe Biden. And some of us were saying the thing from the beginning. You know why I stand on the issues.
Right.
So, what the point? You speaking to the people now, a lot of people listening to you. What can you tell people right now? Some that are in Bon County or some that are in Maryland County, where I'm from, and they're wondering tonight and say, they will make a wrong decision or electing Joseph Boakai was the right decision. With that being said, what can you tell the people? What are some of the things? Just how you wrote, you took your time, you outline the pros, the cons, you outline your 3 points, your major takeaway from this move by Joe Biden. What can you say to the point in Liberia? What can we do differently moving forward?
Mr. Freeman, thank you for bringing that up. I did not think that we were going to divert and go to Liberia, but it's very necessary that we address this
Mm,
because no matter what, Liberia is our motherland. We always going to go back. It's disappointing that if you were to ask me, Samson, there is a ministerial position in Liberia right now. Do you want to
yeah.
take it on a Joseph Waka? My answer to you will be no. Will be clearly no. In as much as I would love to serve my country, I will tell you no. The simple reason is because number one, there is something in the dynamics of the Liberian politics that has not changed. It remains constant, and that thing is greed. All right, that thing is greed. Until our people are ready to have decentralized mindset, we are ready to deal with the culture of do away with the culture of impunity. We are ready to understand that education is important, knowledge is a key. We will start vetting young men and women to take that country to a whole different regime. What has not happened in Liberia is we have not had a regime change. We have had government and governance change. We have not had a regime change. You and I had this conversation before in a Bible shop with so many others. There is a difference in electing this person, electing the person. The reason I said we have not had a regime change is because same thing keep happening over and over every time we elect a new leader. All right. The mindset is if this person made one mistake today, we get the person out and we need to bring somebody new in. Joseph Walker age, Joseph Walker health condition, evidently, all right, should not lend him to the presidency. We appreciate him for the work he has done. But the issue of greed, and it's frustrating to know that young men who have acquired a strong welfare education were all there saying, I mean, we support this old man who is about to be 80 years old. We support this old man. We support this old man. We support this old man. Now, why did you and I go to school? So come and think about it. You're a very intelligent, well-educated young man living in this country. I saw you go to Cali school as a big brother. I saw you walk on the ring. I saw you all in local town trying to mobilize young people to get education, to do something with their life. I saw you. I'm a witness of what you did. You have acquired education. I saw your your vocal approach to the issue of the Liberian politics during the last election. 2 elections that have passed. I saw your work. You think you can go back in our country and become somebody? Let's go back to Cummings that we brought. You think he couldn't be somebody? Let's go back to George Weah. Despite the mistakes that he made. You think it was timely enough for us to elect a 78, 89, or 78, 79 years or 80 years, 80 years old man who biological son will stay skeptical about the possibility of his father running the nation. I do not see Joseph Baga running that country for 3 years. My friends in the Unity Party can hate me for it. But the truth is, it's nothing personal. It's just an abuse of me and my education. It's an abuse of you and your education. It's an abuse. Maybe it's the issue of integrity too. So if I would turn if I would turn the table, maybe we the young people need to get more serious. Maybe we need to get more serious. Maybe we need to build our integrity. Maybe we need to become more trustworthy. Maybe we need to we need to put our mind to it that we want to. Maybe we need to do away with calling our nation an elephant meat. Maybe we need to do away with the slogan that say it's our time. Okay, maybe we the young people need to get more serious because trust me, after Joseph Barker, what happens? Are we already sparking people? You saw a young man that went into that race. I'm forgetting his name. It might come. That went into that race, and people did not even pay attention. And this guy has a PhD. Somebody might argue that education doesn't do it all, but guess what? Knowledge is power. Okay, this country pays for knowledge. This country pays for knowledge. If we do not come to the place to understand that it is time for us to establish a new regime, and again, I repeat that. I say regime in the context as every time we elect a new leader, the same thing happens. So there is not a regime change. I started politics to a higher level, and you know that. All right? I'm not guessing what I'm talking. I'm telling you that Liberia has not had a regime change ever since after Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Everybody we have elected are doing the same old thing. And so that is not a regime change. Regime will focus on institutions and administrations that's supposed to run the country. They will focus on bringing new policies and ideologies that are going to move the country forward. From the legislature, the executive, the judiciary, the same things keep happening. You go in the judiciary, there is a culture of impunity, there's bribery. Okay, you go in the executive, there are a lot of compromises. Okay, on budgets whatsoever. You come to the legislature, it's even worse. There's cold feet. And so until we, the young people, become serious, okay, that we want to bring change and introduce a new regime, and until the old people give us the opportunity to step up. Can you imagine our mom and our dads in the country are still thinking that the older people are wiser? Listen to what the Bible says. All right. The Bible says in the book of Acts, I want to believe. The Bible says, in the last day, I will pour up my spirit upon all flesh. He said, all men will dream. Whether you can see dream. And I hear asleep. But he said, young men will see what? Vision. Do you know what vision? And the same Bible says, for the lack of vision, my people perish. Listen to me. It is vision that moves a nation forward, not dream. It is vision that moves a nation forward. So if the Bible will say young men will see vision, then it's time for us to give the young men a chance for them to be the vision bearer of the country. Liberia needs a regime change. Other than that, you can bring another Joseph Barker. You can bring a 30-year-old man who is unprepared. We're going to be on the same road. You can bring another Joseph Barker who is not. The young men are going to use Joseph Barker only to enrich themselves. Lastly, there is a thing of competition amongst young people that ascend to power. If somebody would say, for example, if Jefferson Koji can own 3 properties 5 properties. What more about me, more Ali? And let me call my telephone while he's on yet. I say any. We know what we're discussing. All right? I'm a brother. All right? But here is the truth, bro. If a young man like Jefferson Koji can own 5 property, more Ali feel he's supposed to own 5 property. I'm not saying that as a fact. I'm just giving that as an example. All right? Say if Samson Williams was the director of managing director of the National Port Authority, and
Yeah, yeah,
Sabah Fremont Sabah Fremont came in and took my position. Sabah Fremont want to consider all of the asset I got for myself so that he will compete with me. The idea of vain competition for wealth, for prestige, for fame, those things are still in the mindset. I will conclude, my brother, until the young man mindset change. We will fight. We will not be able to fight the old people. But it's about time for the young people who are educated, who are prepared, who are honest and ready to run that country, form the new breed that's going to move Liberia forward.
yeah. But you see, with everything you just said, beautifully, I concur because I believe the failure of the country is the fact that the young people are still sitting on the fence, and they're going election. We kept telling people, say, if we make the change, then we all have to get involved. And I said it on my show over and over, and you just said the same thing. Liberia problem, open was part of the problem, but open is not the problem.
Mm.
And I think if Liberia get better, we all have to find ways and means. You just said it. The Bible said it. The lack of knowledge when people perish. I strongly believe in that. And I think part of the decision I was in Liberia, I spent 1 month there, March, the whole of March. 1 month. And when you talk to people, the mindset of people, sometimes I ask the people, but how you expect things to happen? The people don't believe that they're supposed to work hard. They believe that for some reason, somebody's supposed to come from the sky and make everything okay for them.
True.
And the disappointing thing, we from the diaspora that God have blessed with education, knowledge. Whether you go to school or not, the fact that you live in this country alone is education all by itself.
True.
And from Ellington to Joseph Boakatan, they have never disappointed. They have always given job to the people from the diaspora in Liberia, but yet
Hmm.
and still we do not make the difference.
Hmm.
And so when I sit down and look at Liberia right now, our dead people say, what we supposed to do? I agree with some of the people say. We didn't get to put any alternative.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
so we need new breed, but we need people. Look, the only way that change can be made, you have to find a political party. I've said it to you in person.
Hmm.
Get part of the process, get involved. You got to muscle your way because right now, Liberia is engulfed by the black people, and the black people not willing to relinquish until we can take it from them forcibly. It's just going to be like that. I believe Joseph Boca got really good intention for the country. But the sad thing is, people who supposed to start fighting hard to build institutions, put in policy that will push the country forward, they're not even looking at that. And you just said it. All people concentrating on is to acquire wealth.
Hmm.
Make no mistake. I tell people all the time. The reason why we all go to school, everybody will come to America and travel is because you want to make life better for yourself. But what good it will do you? What is the essence? What is the essence of wealth? If somebody can benefit from what we all benefited from this country because people made the sacrifices. People who are compromised so many things. People made the sacrifices to create a legacy. So our generation is failing at every level,
Hmm.
especially us from the diaspora. We go to Liberia, we do something totally different.
Yep.
And when things collapse, then we run back to America. So
So,
I think, I'm so glad you came on the
Mhm.
show. I look forward to you coming because hopefully the coming week I'll be having Dr. Marshall on. And when
Okay.
you're going to be talking, I think I've been telling Dr. Marshall, and hopefully he can come. People got to learn how to acquire wealth or working with government.
Yeah.
And Dr. Marshall going to be talking to us about how to be financially stable, what we need to do to save. Because if we know how to make money, people will not rely on government. And I
Yep.
think that's what I'm trying to get people to see in the country. Yes, it is a pleasure and opportunity to serve your country. But it shouldn't be like the mindset that the only way I can acquire wealth is through the government. And so
Yep.
that's why this coming Wednesday, I hope to get Dr. Marshall on because you will be introducing us to a program that we all can take advantage of. And people who in Liberia are watching, I hope they will pay attention that hey, I can make money with all me stealing. So even if I'm working for government, I'm working because I want to work for government. But if you know how to make money, if you know how to save money, then I believe Liberia will take the next step. So, my man
Yeah.
Samson, I really appreciate you. I hope you come back next time so we can do this again, brother. It was very, very
Thank
nice
you,
talking to you.
thank you, Mr. Freeman. I appreciate you having me on the show, and I like the fact that you pointed out the power of
You
indoctrination.
see,
20,
yeah, let
2018
me
during
say,
my
Othello,
sorry, go
this
ahead.
one of my, yeah. You see, Othello Nimna say, I support your idea. The Bible also says the young shall lead the old. So
Yep,
somebody
not the
who
old leading the young.
Othello is from Liberia right now. He said, the young shall lead the old. But what
Yep.
happened in Liberia right now is backward. The
It's
old leading
backwards.
the young,
And
no woman.
here is the thing. I was just about to say, you pointed that out. The power of indoctrination. And like I said, until we are prepared, right? We leave from here to give us jobs in Liberia to go serve the government or serve the country. Okay. The mindset is I'm gonna have the opportunity. You stay here, live in America for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You don't own one property in Liberia, you don't open one little shop there. You run for government position there because government have become the yardstick for acquiring wealth in the country. And in every nation where the government is the highest employer, that nation is corrupt. Liberia is the only nation in Africa that I see the government is the highest employer, and that has been so for too many years.
It's
So, my
corrupt.
brother,
It's
I
corrupt.
mean, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that conversation with Dr. Marshall, and then we will talk some other things off air. There are a lot of other initiatives. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well, we
Dr.
will talk
Marshall
about
will
it
be
off
here
air.
yeah,
We
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you and I will talk about some things off air, and I will be open to bringing people. I think what you're doing is great. That's what the entire community need to cultivate instead of using our platform to tear one another down. But this is amazing, and it was great being on here, and I appreciate the
So
time,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I can
there are a lot
assure
of
you,
people watching right
as
now.
always,
Mohammed is watching. Mohammed watching. Veronica Plesno. Sonny Shammer is watching. Rupert Marshall is watching. Sewina Boone is watching, and all those people listening to you, especially Mr. My own Pape Otiero, and also, my man, we need to keep talking to our people. I know I'm getting too much heat that I'm not talking stuff about America. I got to be more diverse, but Liberia is all on my mind.
yeah,
And,
there are a
and,
lot
and
of issues I
you
need to
know,
be talking
at
about
least
in America
I
here in
can't do
our
the show all talking about
community
Liberia.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we we are around and we will continue to make our contribution, my brother. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to being back soon.
Yes. But next time, if I come up with a topic, I will shoot you the headline so you can do your own little research and then you can overcome it, my man. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you, brother. Have a wonderful,
Sure,
wonderful evening, and I will talk to you off the air. Thank you,
sounds
Samson.
good. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was my boy, my homeboy Samson, who brilliantly acts. I mean, you are very brilliant. So, hey, tune in for Wednesday. I hope I can get Dr. Marsha. Once again, I want to say thanks to each and every one of you for watching. We really appreciate your input, your thought, your time. We can pay you. Only God can pay you. Until then, this is your boss, D. Freeman, saying so long from the Maima Goyah studio. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Stay blessed. Be safe. See you on Wednesday. Good night, everybody.